Anything awesome, special, anything worth talking about?
I went to a Lizard Kings game.
The hell's a Lizard Kings game?
Right? Like,
It was pretty funny.
to
So I live in Jacksonville, Florida now, and so I joined the local GOP executive council thing about a month ago.
Yeah.
And they were doing some little fundraiser for the minor league hockey team, or with the minor league hockey team, the Jacksonville Icemen. And I get there and I'm like, okay, and I hadn't been to a game or anything in a while. And I was like, I literally said like a month ago, like, I'm going to go to a sporting event. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, I just want to go to something and later that week we saw the thing, they were talking about the Iceman game. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we show up and we go and sit down. I hear them say like Lizard Kings a few times, and just out of nowhere, they're like, they do the announcements, and it's like, here's your Jacksonville Lizard Kings. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it was throwback night. And apparently the Lizard Kings are like what the team was founded as in the 90s. And so the Jacksonville Lizard Kings used to be the minor league hockey team. And so they were the bright green and purple and orange colors. It was great.
So
it's funny that you said that. That I actually found my Augusta Lynx jersey that's like signed by everybody that used to play there, like Lance and all them.
So
I actually found that. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that was my question. Is the league kind of like the Lynx? Is it more of an entertainment league where if you don't have 9 fights a game, it's not considered a good game?
So that was what we didn't see. We left right after right after the second period ended. They were up like 2-0, and so like the hockey was pretty straight, but they didn't have any fights. Like there were no fights. Like there was a few times they maybe were about to let it go, but they just didn't. And so we never got to see any fights, and it was just super disappointing because Ben told me like one of the only Lynx games he ever went to was the last ever Lynx game where they didn't even finish the game because they all got thrown out for fighing.
Right. Yeah, it was an entertainment league. Like they had in their contract certain number of fights. Yeah. They had to fight.
Lance was bad about that. I remember going to a Lynx game and like watching him fight this dude at Center Rink. And it got to be so bad they had to bring out the Zamboni afterwards.
Yeah.
To clean the ice before they could resume play.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're brutal. I
think he's like one of the only ones who actually made it, though.
Yeah. I miss
he ended up playing
those
in
good
NHL.
things. That's the one issue I do have with Augusta is that I don't feel like we support our sports teams. I mean, we had some really entertaining teams. The Green Jackets.
Well, I think that might change now. Like,
I think the Green Jackets
are
going to change. Yes, yeah, with the Braves.
Green Jackets are the Braves, so like people are going to want to support.
But we also don't have it anymore. It's in a different state. No, it's not. It's North Augusta.
It is and it isn't, but that's a badass stadium. I'd drive
it. It is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been there a couple times. Right. It's awesome, especially for like a lower single-A baseball team. I mean, it's
tell me they did not miss this. I pitched this to I was working at the station when they were coming up with the concepts and stuff, and this was back when were we ever the Giants minor league team?
Yes.
And so like I told them, I was like, maybe we are, maybe we aren't anymore. I don't know. But how can y'all not situate this park as close as you can to the river and like encourage a McCovey Cove situation and people just sitting out in kayaks and stuff? Like, how could y'all not do that? And of course they didn't. But like, how awesome would that be if like, somebody cranks a home run over the right fence and like there's.
I mean, he could put. I mean, I've seen them come close. I bet if somebody really got a hold of one, they could probably get it there.
That'd be awesome, though.
I mean, it's not like
Gators, though.
Yeah, it's not like PNC Park where it's like
that makes it more interesting.
There.
Put a camera on there.
Yeah, live stream it. Ain't no baseball worth fighting a gator, bro. Sorry.
just wear your Steve Irwin gear every game.
Yeah, just keep stingrays away.
Yeah.
Too soon? Too soon? Sorry.
You
Talk
upset
about
a lot of kids, man. You
right,
upset a lot of kids when you said that.
right. You want to talk? That's just horrible luck, man. I hate that too because I loved watching that show growing up, and as much dangerous crap he got into, that's what got him. Like just random, just out of all the places you can get stuck on the human body with a needle.
And then they say even further than that, and maybe this is just like the old wives' tale of like how he died and everything. But I've always heard that he pulled the barb out, which is what you just don't do, and that's what, because the way those barbs work is once they go in, they kind of
catch.
So.
Yeah, it was.
I would like
weird.
to think that Steve would have enough knowledge to not do that.
Yeah,
I would hope that. You're right. I mean, you're right,
but I don't know. I mean, adrenaline. Just got stabbed. I don't know.
Well, see, that's what I had saw in a documentary was that it didn't actually pierce his heart. It was the fact that he got jacked up on adrenaline, and the barb was so close to his heart that as it expanded, it was like poking it, but as it contracted, it wasn't. So it was like stabbing him, like every
Multiple
heartbeat.
times.
Yeah, from what they said in this documentary or something. Now, whether or not that's true, and no, I'm not sourcing it or anything else. Y'all can find it on your own.
Well, I mean, didn't they have video of it? I mean,
yeah, they pulled it.
I mean,
sure
obviously
they
they never
would,
released it or anything, but I mean, we should know.
Yeah, it was pulled. It used to be on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the dark days of the internet when you could post some shit.
I think it's funny that his son tries like really hard, but he'll never be Steve.
No, but I am glad to see his kids
I'm
glad they kept the zoo up and everything like that. Cause
my dog's name's Bendy.
Nice,
spelled the same,
right?
See, if I ever went to like Queensland, it's in Queensland. I'm pretty sure. I would definitely put that on my list of places to go because it looks awesome.
Sure.
It looks awesome, yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
they've done well with it. They've expanded it and stuff like that. Since then, I think he has a whole like portion of the park dedicated after him and shit.
Yeah, the one I always loved was damn Jeff Corwin. Oh, the Jeff Corwin experience. I wanted to be a herpetologist so bad.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. Jeez.
Oh man, I love Jeff Corwin. He was just fun. Hated what was it, monkeys and lemurs and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm not a big fan on that either. They got thumbs and shit, man. They're smart.
They got thumbs and shit.
I liked it all, like his videos too when he was around him. Like it was always stalking me.
Oh yeah, it's like they knew it.
You knew it was up to no good.
Yeah, it's like they knew he did not like them, and they were just gonna aggravate the shit out of him.
Yeah, I think the guy that got me the most just really into animals, I think it was Joe Exotic. I think it just happened.
I don't know, man. You can't forget Turtle. What was it, Turtle Man? Or what
Turtle Man?
Turtle
Live action.
Going in after these giant alligator snapper turtles. I'm good.
Yep. With his giant Bowie knife named Thunder. Me and Thunder would dig him out of there. He'd just dive into a mud pile, pull out a damn 40-pound snapping turtle. It's like, dude, you are insane.
The internet did used to be a better place.
Yeah. To me, that's entertaining. That's reality TV I'll get down on, not Bachelorette or, I don't know, Naked and Afraid's pretty damn funny.
I couldn't do that, man.
Fuck no, I couldn't do it.
No.
Hell no, man. But I'm just saying I'm glad to see there's other idiots out there that want to do it. It's just something about being naked and forced to spend a month with a stranger that just don't sound appealing.
No, not really. No.
It's like a bad trip to Costa Rica. What was that? Dude, that's how horror movies start. Yeah, but that's also how pornos start. Oh, good idea, bro. It's like, I dig it.
50-50 chance.
Yeah, right. Flip the coin. Oh, man. I saw that movie. It was on the other day. Euro Trip. Y'all remember Euro Trip?
Yep.
It is an amazing movie.
God,
This
yeah.
isn't where I parked my car.
Dude, Bratislava, here's a fun fact. You made out with your sister, dude.
I love when they tip the guy like 10 cents or something, and he like slaps his boss in the face and says he's gonna open his own hotel. It's like
Yes.
Eastern Europe.
Oh, yes. Yes. That would be a moment where learning to speak German and stuff would have been very, very helpful.
Yeah.
I love the reason why the truck driver's not going to Berlin either. He like punched a
Yes.
horse and stabbed a hooker or something.
Never Berlin. Never.
No Berlin. He said Berlin. He's going to Berlin. Get in. Oh.
Great movie. Underrated movie.
Underrated movie, man. And the fact that Matt Damon does Scotty Doesn't Know just makes it even better.
That's a great little cameo that I think a lot of people still don't know about this to this day.
Yeah. Like that has to be.
I'll put that cameo up there with Tom Cruise in
Tropic Thunder?
in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. I'll give you
Because
that one.
I think that's my favorite, best cameo that they tried to hide.
Yeah.
You didn't know he was going to be in there, and then it was like, what?
That was a good one.
That was a great one.
We
They
talked
couldn't make that now.
right. That's what we got.
Heck
We
no.
got down this whole side tangent one day, sitting here at the house with some friends about movies you couldn't make today that were legendary at the time.
You couldn't make The Office today. I mean, think about like Diversity Day. Like the whole episode is based on racial stereotypes. Like they would.
That's
like
true.
that was in the first season.
That's true. That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean it would be tough. Of course, I led with Blazing Saddles, and
Oh God, yeah, you could never make that.
it's a good one though. That's good old Mel Brooks comedy right there.
That's an amazing movie.
Or Robin Hood Men in Tights. That one came on the other day. That's what we were saying. Pretty much any Mel Brooks movie couldn't be made today.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of that stuff that I mean just basically like past the 1960s. You're not allowed to like, oh, they were making movies in a time that didn't appreciate this, that, or whatever, and you know, like classics like Gone with the Wind. Like I went to a bookstore, and this is a book. I mean, they did it to the movie too, but the book as well. Because I went to this old bookstore in downtown like Fernandina Beach the other day. It's like an old guy converted his house into a bookstore. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like 85 years old, and he was walking around. A lady asked him about Dr. Seuss. It was so sad. He was just like, "Oh, I got a box of Dr. Seuss. For the life of me, I just can't understand. I just don't understand what people are upset. Dr. Seuss is great." And he was like, you know, they tried to get rid of the Gone with the Wind and all this. I mean, this guy is just like, I just see him sitting in his bookstore, just like, what in the hell is going on out there? Like,
Yeah, and supposedly that came from Dr. Seuss's family. I thought they were the ones that started that. Is what I heard.
Yeah, it was last year. It was his foundation. The people that run his foundation a year ago decided to stop running those 6. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I mean, they can decide what they want to do, like all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I think, you know, we could easily talk about whether or not just they felt like public pressure for it and stuff, which is, I mean, that's crazy. But the stuff that really got crazy was that, you know, eBay started taking off people's listings of selling Dr. Seuss books because they were harmful. So you couldn't sell them to other people, but you could sell Mein Kampf, you know, stuff
Right.
like that. Like, but so that's the stuff that just doesn't really make any sense. Is like, okay, well, what are we really trying to do here? And it was just weird. And so, like, yeah, I mean, the family did it, you know, a while ago, like a year ago, and it just now kind of made big news when Biden took out Dr. Seuss, mention of Dr. Seuss out of National Reading Day, which was made on Dr. Seuss's birthday for a reason, because it was kind of centered around him. So that was kind of what spurred the whole freak out.
Okay. See, I didn't really get into it. I've kind of, damn, thought I muted my phone. I had already, kind of stepped away from. I haven't watched the news in a while. Really,
No.
I hadn't watched the news in a while. I hadn't even been on Twitter in like 2-3 weeks.
I mean, I say that facetiously because, like, I'm kind of honestly believing right now that we're kind of going down this pretty crazy road that, like, you kind of need to be paying attention because you're going to, like, step away for a year or two and then you're going to come back and be like it's a different language. I mean, they're using a different language at this point. They really are.
Oh, I know.
Changing definitions of words and stuff.
Yeah, but that's been happening for a while now.
Oh, I know, and don't get me. And like that's the thing is like I like a lot of this stuff. It's just the levels that it's reached, and like I don't know. A lot of people don't realize like, who was it? Oh, it was Doctor. It was Mazie Hirono. Senator Mazie Hirono was questioning what's her name, the Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett, and Amy Coney Barrett used the word sexual orientation, and Mazie Hirono jumped up and down on her face like that is horrible. You can't use sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is a slur. That is a slur against the gay community. And everybody's just like, what are you talking about? Like nobody's ever heard of that ever. Like what? And you go and look, and literally that within the next few hours, the dictionary's website had changed sexual orientation, and they put down there a column that it is in fact a slur against the gay community. And so it's like, yeah, I know they've been doing it for a while or whatever, but they're doing it in real time. like when they call you a racist, they don't mean, racist in the definition. Well, and again, they've changed the definition of racism in the textbooks, or in the dictionary, so they do mean this, I guess, technically, but they're not meaning what we've always meant as racist. They literally just mean like racist as in you're willing to uphold the quote unquote institutions that perpetuate what they call racism. So it's a kind of circular loop logic stuff that you can't get out of. They put the word racism in the definition of racist, so it's a circular definition by definition.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's craziness out there. I ain't
Yep.
even. That's why I ain't even getting into it because there's enough to keep my head going right here at the house. I mean, so really. Between chickens, 2 cats, 2 dogs, I got the fruit trees in. I got some of them split. I'm trying to get them rooted. So if y'all need some fruit trees, hopefully they'll catch.
You haven't got any more animals?
I'm gonna move mine.
Well, we went and bought those 2 big birds, or the adult birds, and then we got those 2 biddies. Abby's outside right now with them, letting them run around the yard, but they're getting big. They're about to be gone too. But that's what I mean. Yesterday, me and Dave, the neighbor, we built a brood box for his birds because you can only have baby chickens inside the house so long before they start stinking. So, you gotta do something with them. So we got them outside and built that shit.
Crow in the morning?
No, they don't. Not at all. So if y'all need eggs, man, let me know. Or next time y'all are in Augusta, just come by because I'm about to be getting 5 a day, and neighbor next door is getting 4 a day. So there ain't no point in dang giving my neighbor eggs.
Yeah, only because I'm sure nobody ever will. It's super random, but my grandma lived down in Fitzgerald, Georgia, which is a middle of nowhere town down in South Georgia.
Oh yeah,
kind of southeast Georgia.
Good old Ben Hill.
Yeah, Ben Hill County, and so I don't know where the other place is. There's one other place that they've lasted and kind of survived, but sometime around the Civil War, for whatever reason, like the agriculture department or somebody, I don't know who, in the government decided they were going to release a bunch of like feral chickens in a bunch of towns.
Yeah.
It was like to solve some problem. I can't remember. And for whatever reason, in Fitzgerald and one other place in the country, they survived.
It's probably boll weevils.
So you'll just be dry. Do what? Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Probably boll weevils down there in the cotton fields.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. And so you drive around and there's chickens just running all over town. And like, if you're the unlucky person that they're in your backyard at 6 o'clock in the morning, like they will just be outside your window just going nuts. It's crazy.
Yep. Abby's next step is a turkey, though. I think April 14th, the guy we've been talking to is getting turkeys in. So, yeah, that's going to be a whole new night.
What's a turkey for?
Because my wife wants a turkey.
She's going turkey. I'm going ducks.
Right?
I'm getting chickens and ducks.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, we're all learning our own individual skills. That way, when we buy our 500-acre property and we all move out there, we can all contribute to the village.
I'm down. I'll be out there with you.
I'm serious. Like, I'm down to build like a schoolhouse and like private school, homeschool the kids.
I've been talking about this. Absolutely.
Yeah. Tim Pool talked about it.
my kids never stepping foot inside of a public school. I've kind of made my mind up about that. Like,
but I want them to.
Me and Abby go around about that shit.
Because I get the whole like interaction with children and stuff. Like, because by the way, like I went to a college that was a pipeline for homeschool kids. Like I went to a Christian college for 2 years straight out of high school that probably a quarter of the kids were homeschooled. And there was that really big stigma of, and it was a stigma, but it wasn't true that like most of the homeschool kids were kind of the antisocial ones who wouldn't really talk to people and like that kind of stuff. And I've just kind of determined that there's a bigger responsibility on the parent to put them in more stuff and get them out engaged in other ways than just because, again, sitting in a cinder block building for 8 hours and letting them just feed your kid with all kinds of whatever they want. I can't.
Right.
I don't know if I can do that.
What were you going to say, Jay?
Oh, no, I was just going to say high school, definitely. Like, that's like Tay. I mean, she went to private school, middle and elementary. But like, even she's like, I'm really glad that I went to a public high school and didn't stay in a private. Because when you go to the private school, you do only get fed that certain information.
Well, I mean, it's the same way at public schools too. I mean, that's why we were talking about homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, both of those, a public and a private schools, they both have curriculum they have to follow for end of the year testing.
Right.
Well, and I think on top of that too, like you're saying, like private schools, I think are great for a bunch of different reasons. But I think at the same time, just like I think that the public schools are trying to kind of, and not all universally, but it's kind of seeping in. They're trying to push this narrative and all that. It's kind of the same with, private schools. And don't get me wrong, you get to pick if your kid goes to a private Jewish day school or a Catholic school or whatever. But they're going to push that, and they're going to shield away from other things that kind of don't, conform to their narrative that are in the real world. And so, I think it just puts more on the parent. And again, 100%, I know for a fact it's easier said than done. But I just think that in the end, I think it's going to be worth it to be able to. It sounds so bad to like kind of control what your kid hears, and not in a whole sense, because again, I'd want my, play every sport possible and go every club or every whatever to actually meet other people. But it's a sticky situation.
And also, I mean, typically your homeschool students, they have a higher GPA. So so the curriculum, like Peyton, like you said, the curriculum does have to match, what the state is doing as far as what they call the state standards. But it's more focused. I can't tell you, me and my colleague were just speaking about this yesterday. I mean, think about how many distractions happen in the public school system, that you would not get in the homeschool. And quite honestly, the social activity happens in the extracurricular activities. I mean, there's so many extracurricular activities that, students and kids can do that go to homeschool. They can do AAU. Of course, they have like a bunch of like county programs that, as long as you're in homeschool as part of the state standards, I mean, it's not going to exclude them from anything. So they still can get that social interaction. But it's really, I guess for me, because I am a parent of 2 kids and we did homeschool practically for a year. I think it really depends on the kid. Like my kid hated it. But I felt like she was more focused, but I just think it's all about programming. But I would agree with you, just trying to there's so much crap that happens within those four walls times, 10, that you got to be careful what your kid is hearing and what's going on around him or her. Like, it's absolutely insane. I hear a lot of conversations and it's like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, my short stint as a substitute teacher was eye-opening to me because I did 5th grade and I pulled notes off of kids that would make you blush. I mean, things that I wouldn't even say to my wife type deal. It's like, whoa, and it's just a different generation, man, because I couldn't even imagine sending something like that when I was in elementary school.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, I just dug my Star Wars cards out. And I remember collecting them in 5th grade with a dude named John Stahl. Like, we used to trade Star Wars cards.
Oh,
like, before Pokemon was even a thing.
Yeah, we were too worried about playing Pog.
Pogs, right. Like, we were too busy trying not to lose scuff our slammers and lose our poison Pogs.
I'm telling you, and that's like, so I don't know. I know how old Peyton is and everything, but like, I was born in 1991. I'm about to turn 30 in a few days, and I talk about it all the time. Like, I'm like kind of my age group, and kind of we're part of that last little generation that, like, I grew up. I didn't have an option of getting a cell phone, and like, literally, I mean, it was normal for people my age not to get one till they're 15 and stuff like that. But when I was 9, 10, 11, it wasn't even like, nope, why would you have a cell phone? That was stupid.
Right.
And, your parents maybe had
didn't even
one,
use your parents.
Right,
Yeah,
you didn't even get your parents. I had a pager.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so, like, I like, we grew up playing in the woods and swimming in ponds, and I lived in the city, like, basically the city and the suburbs. Like, we grew up swimming in the creeks, and when it rained, and we'd run out in the whatever. They don't do, like, it's completely different. The screen in front of their face, it's like it
ensnares their mind.
Yeah, it's a zombie movie stuff that they kind of made all these movies about that. That TV is going to hypnotize you in a weird kind of way. It has like, the attention span is zapped down to 20 seconds instead of being able to sit there and talk for even 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I know where Eddie learned to swim.
That's a good one.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, the lake is a good place to go, man.
Absolutely.
I hate it that kids these days don't get to experience things outside like we did. Sure. I mean, if you saw 3 boys out in the woods with power tools and stuff building a treehouse, you would probably call the cops on them now. They're trespassing, or they're gonna get hurt. Don't give them a nail; they'll kill each other. And I'm thinking, dude, you know what I did with nails? Built a freaking treehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't I can put this in my eye. I wonder what happens. Well, you lose your eye, stupid. It didn't have to be a child to understand that. That's why I don't know. We were talking about
that's my thing, is like, we're robbing a bunch of people of, like, I scraped up my knees. I went to the emergency room 10 times to get stitches. I'm still here. We're good. Like, it's okay. That's definitely a high number. We should probably get that down. But, like, you gotta, and that's the big thing with sports and everything. That's why you gotta get your kids in sports. I think is a big thing. Is they gotta fail at something. They gotta know that some things don't work. Just because they think they work in their mind, they don't work. Or just because they want them to work, they don't work. It's real world.
Right. Well, I had somebody said something to me the other day. I can't remember who it was. It was a friend of ours who's younger, and I told him, I was like, son, I have failed more times than you've ever succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to fail. Like, you have to. I didn't say more times than I've succeeded. I said more than he's succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've succeeded more than I've failed. But I have failed more than you've even attempted. I've done it. Trust me. That's not the way. You got to learn. You got to take your bumps and bruises. If you can learn that stuff without having to pay in blood or physical money, though, that's the best way. Because bought experiences, one, hurt, but two, you don't forget them.
And I think personally, and I know Peyton, I think you feel the exact same way. I think that's why sports is like some of the most important things you can do when you're younger and get in that stuff is like that championship of your 8th grade year will live with you until you die if you didn't win. Like that's just that pain, that just like, and much less, high school and college if you get to play and stuff like, and working with other people and having to deal with other people and listen to a coach and just all of everything that kind of sports does. But it's that minus actually having to have a massive loss, a physical loss in your life. You have felt loss. You have felt absolutely loss.
I lost 2 state titles.
Yep.
But now these kids, though, they could go to those state titles, lose. They're still going to get a trophy.
Right.
You're still going to get a cool ring. It may not be as cool as the other person, but you get a participation ring. Like,
You're not wrong about that.
I mean, technically, you can order anything from
like
Justin's. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you can order anything. If you're willing to pay for it, Justin's will make a ring.
Right.
They don't care. You can put Super Bowl champs on that thing and copy it as much as you want to a Super Bowl ring. You might not be able to like get an exact Super Bowl ring, but they'll make you something really close that to the untrained eye they'd be like, "Damn, he got a Super Bowl ring."
Or like what UCF did. No, sorry, you were not like college champion. Sorry, you did go undefeated, but you played nobody really.
Right. I mean, they did. They had 1 or 2 upsets, but I see what you're saying. Like their wins against big teams, yeah, they beat 2 or 3 big teams in that undefeated season, but their strength of schedule is still like a C+. It's not like being in the SEC or even the ACC, I guess. I mean, I'm not even gonna bring up Big Ten. Don't get me started on Big Ten. Although Ohio State fans out there are crying right now, I'm sure.
They lost to Oral Roberts. You lost to a school called Oral Roberts.
It just I don't know. That's one league to me that has kind of just spiraled out of control. Big Ten's gotten crazy. I mean, it's Ohio State. That's it.
I had them in my national championship. I suck at this.
At what?
At March Madness, anything. Like, I haven't watched any basketball or anything this year, but that's the exact result that I get when I've paid attention in years past, like paid attention, loved college basketball and all. Oh my God. And like my team will lose in the first round. Like every time. I'm awful at it.
Yep. I don't even try the brackets no more.
Yeah. P-Track got $10 out of me. Going.
Oh, P-Track.
But then you feel bad too, because like that one player for the Ohio States, like he received death threats and stuff. Like, that's awful.
Mm-hmm. And I read his little statement thing, and I normally kind of just like, oh, dude, it's just people on Twitter, like whatever. But he makes an amazing point on, like, first off, it is Ohio State fans, which is just ridiculous. But then it's also the people that bet and all that, whatever. But like, he makes a good point of like, you don't think he already feels that way? Like, kind of like what I was saying.
Right.
He's feeling an unbelievable amount of embarrassment and loss and all of that without hearing another word from another human being, at all.
I know what it's like to choke.
People are horrible.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Right. Like, there's enough pressure on. That's why with my kickers and stuff, I just tell them, guys, I'm not like I don't say anything to them. The least you can say to a kicker, the better.
Yeah, just do you.
Right. They're already in their own mind because it's just them and the ball and all eyes are on me. Unless it's a bad snap, but everybody can see that. And even then, your job's to get the ball away. Doesn't matter if it's a bad snap or not. You need to get that ball up.
Yeah, that was funny. Like, I did watch this thing that ESPN did where, like, they brought in these people who tweeted, like, oh, you missed that field goal from 20 yards. I could have kicked that. And they're like, okay, here you go.
Right.
And half of them could get it off the ground.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Right.
I give kudos.
And this is in no one watching them. You know what I mean? No line in front of them, nothing. They couldn't get it off the ground.
I think I can hit. I hit about 30 yarders. That's about it. I can hit 30 yarders, but outside of that, I can't come close. All I can tell the boys is don't try to hit it harder because you end up swinging, you overswing, basically. You mess your technique up. Hit the ball as hard as you always hit the ball. I don't care if you that 1 out of a dozen times you drive it 40, 50-yard field goal, I'd much rather you 100% from 30 yards. Just get up and stroke it every time. Don't try to overkick. Just find your range and be where it's at. Because you can tell right away when someone tries too hard. In any sport or anything. Palmer, you see it in golf. Someone tries to hit the ball too hard. They either draw it or fade it, or I normally fade it because I slice that thing. Well, that's when people
miss the ball completely. Is when they're trying. That's when they miss it completely, and they're trying to kill it or whatever. And like those are your worst. Like even really good golfers, like you'll hit a horrible shot, and it's just very apparent. Like, dude, you just tried to kill that. Like you lose control. Like that's what happens.
And then you try to overcompensate because you hit a bad shot, and you do it again, and then the wheels start coming off at that point.
Yep.
Like that meme I sent you the other day. when you're 8 over through 3 and the beer cart's coming. Hey, over here. I need a beverage.
You got something to look forward to. That's the great thing about golf.
Yeah, at least I can drive the cart. I'm old enough to do that.
That's what I tell people all the time. I try to get people to come out and like play golf that I've like never really not met, obviously, but never played with, or I don't play a ton of golf or whatever. I'll just be like, dude, golf's like, first off, it's changed. It's not that super stuffy like what at most courses. Even the old guys are trying to blare their speaker to show that their speaker's louder than y'all's speaker, and like, I mean, it's crazy. Like everybody's drinking, having a good time, and that's what I tell people is like, man, you come out, you realize you're not that great at golf, or it's not your day. Cool, just drive the cart and get drunk. Like there's still a lot. You get to be out and.
Right. You're still getting to hang out with your friends. You're outside, and as long as your friends are cool, most of the time, they don't care. I mean, as long as you're not playing for like money or for realsies or something. I was always told that if you can just keep up, doesn't really matter what the score is, as long as everybody's not waiting on you, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, just play best ball.
Yeah, done that a few times.
That makes it easy.
Oh, yeah. And you'll shoot good, too.
Yeah. Especially if you got somebody like Palmer at 6'8", lefty. We'll play best ball in a heartbeat.
Those are the most fun.
Right?
The charity tournaments?
Yep.
Those are always fun.
I was thinking about trying to get a team together for us, but I don't know if I really want to squeeze out $400 for the charity team for the football team.
I mean, wouldn't that just be $100 a piece, or is it $400 per person?
It's $400 for the team. It's $100 a piece. But it's a charity thing, so people are going to be paying for mulligans and stuff like that. So you're not going to like win
What
it.
is it?
When is it?
Yeah.
Let me look.
Peyton, don't be so quick.
Dude, I sent y'all an invite on it last year, 2 years ago, and no one really took me up on it, so I didn't even. When is it?
Send me one because I can. I'll get them to do a rec tech team.
Friday, May 7th, 7:30 a.m. It's a shotgun start. $400 a team. Lunch is included. 4-man best ball format. Sponsor a hole for $100. Mulligans percentage string fun.
What's funny about that is they mean scramble, because best ball is very like, you kind of have to play a lot of golf. Best ball sounds exactly like what we're talking about it is.
But it's actually scramble.
It's a scramble is where everybody hits. You pick the best shot and go.
Right.
Everybody goes and hits from that spot.
Right.
Best ball, it is counterintuitive. Best ball is everybody plays their own ball.
Their own best ball.
And
right.
You just play your own ball, and best ball is at the end of the hole. You look around your group and say, who got the best score?
Right.
That's for whatever reason, that's what best ball is. But they mean scramble, and those are the most fun. And, they usually put a cap on how many mulligans. The string thing is crazy. And
see, I don't even know what that is.
You don't? Oh, my God. So you can buy 10 foot of string. So they'll say something like, a foot of string is $10. Right?
Oh, shit. And if it's within that length, you get the putt for free?
Yeah. So basically, say I stick it on a par 3 to like 2 feet, right? we can clip off 2 feet of our string, and I've made a hole in one. You don't even have to putt.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
So the scores can get low, and even without that, I played in a charity tournament last year, and I was the only person that was even remotely a single-digit handicap, and we shot 61, so 11 under. And so, like, with mulligans and with string, we could go low, dude. It's fun, man.
I mean, I'm down. They're playing at Belmead.
Oh, man. Belmead is a crazy difficult course at this point. That's the fun part about it.
Right.
They put in new greens about 2 years ago at this point. And what happens when you put new greens in is they're pretty solid for a good long while. Like, they're hard as rock. So we played them right after they put them in. And, I mean, you would land, a wedge, hell, even literally just a wedge on the front of the green, and it would bounce, take a big old hop, take all your check off, and it would just roll off the back every single solitary time. And
yes,
they've gotten a little bit better, and the greens are crazy hilly, and it's so much fun. A scramble would be crazy out there. That would be fun. Belmead's nuts.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll shoot him a...
Those are the most fun golf tournaments. The charity for like the local football team or for the whatever.
Yeah.
It's where all the good old boys come out. They start drinking. It's fun. Screaming from other fairways, and yeah, it's fun.
I don't play golf. I go out there and get drunk and shit, but I don't play golf.
I feel you.
That's great.
I ain't got no golf club. Nope.
I got golf clubs. Yeah.
So we got like 10 sets in the garage.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got golf clubs. Do you know anybody that needs like a starter set of lefties? I got a whole big old bag of lefties. Yeah, you're the only lefty I know.
I know. I already have an extra set.
Well, they're not good. They're Cougars.
Oh,
it's just they're like starter set for lefties. I just didn't know if you knew anybody.
Maybe when maybe when I come, every now and then I'll run into somebody out there, like, because I have this little part. I have a really cool, what they call an executive course right next to my house. It's like a mile from my house, and it's 7 par 3s. None of them are over 120 yards, and then the 2 par 4s are 220 yards. So like, long par 3s, and so it's just really fun to go out there and play, and I'll just bring a 9-iron only. That's where I was when I was last time I was talking. And every now and then I'll meet somebody out there that is just playing with some clubs that are from absolutely like 1965 and just like, has 1 or 2 clubs and a putter. And I'm just like, dude, we could get you a new set, like, because that's the thing is, like, people don't realize, like, it has that stigma of being the hoity-toity, and to get some new shit, yeah, it's gonna be $1,200 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but to get a starter set or to get a set from Goodwill, and there's some decent stuff there and stuff, you can get you a new set.
You can go to a pawn shop and
$30.
go to a pawn shop, grab you about 5 clubs. That's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Get you a driver, a 7, a sand wedge, and a putter.
There you go.
You should be able to play golf with that.
You can.
And get out of there pretty cheap. Hell, you ain't even got to get a bag. You can put the balls in your pocket, put a tee behind your ear, and just carry your clubs.
I actually found an all-cloth bag at a thrift store, like $, with like leather all over it and stuff. I was like, this is awesome. So I literally found a golf bag. And then, by the way, I found Titleist golf bags and stuff like that, like legit ones, at Goodwill for $7. So
right,
you can get you a legit, almost full set and a bag ready to go. You can go straight from Goodwill to go play golf for $30.
But are we talking about in Augusta or are we talking about Jacksonville? Because there's a huge difference.
Nuh-uh. Everywhere. Every Goodwill has a golf club section. It's nuts.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, y'all got a Goodwill up there with some good golf clubs up there in North Atlanta. I know y'all.
Yeah.
There'll be some good clubs.
Let me tell you something. I go all the time to Goodwill. I go to the rich areas over there by Buckhead and stuff like that.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
And you would be surprised. Like, you can literally find designer item for 10% of the cost. So Palmer is exactly right. I mean, there's definitely some good finds there. I go there all the time for like tech stuff. Like, I found a router. I literally found a router that I actually match priced it to Best Buy. It was a $600 router because we're running like 8 computers at my house,
Yeah.
and I got it for $5.99. So I go up there to the retail, and I'm like, "Do you know what this is?" It's like one of the routers that has like 10 antennas on it,
Yeah.
and she's like, "No." I'm like, "This thing
Me
costs."
neither. I want it.
I almost started to resell it to make a come up, but we needed it so bad because we have like 8. Everybody's on the computer here, and I need to maintain my bandwidth. You know, I'm playing a game. I got 2 girls. My wife's on the computer, and the neighbors or whatever. That's a joke. But Palmer, but Palmer's right, dude. Like, for some reason, people give Goodwill a bad name. All Goodwill means is that someone didn't want something that someone else probably wants. Like,
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's what I try to tell people is it's not that people think of it. It's like a junk store, like, oh, it's junk. Junk is completely relative to the person that owns it. Like,
Right.
I mean, somebody called that $600 router junk to them, and I'm going to give it to Goodwill or whatever. But it's what that person doesn't need anymore. They got a new router. What am I going to do with this router? I don't feel like selling it, so I'll just give it to Goodwill.
Maybe.
And so, like, and down here in Florida, there's pro golfers when they're done with their clothes that they can't wear anymore because they got a new sponsor or whatever. They'll dump them. And so you'll see kids wearing, you know, Kevin Kisner's and all these guys' shirts because, like, I mean, they're at Goodwill. It's the most random stuff in the world. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The books, by the way, I'm into buying books because, like, to get all, you know, conspiracy. They're erasing stuff, and so
Yeah.
like, why not? And I think I love bookshelves.
I've got a whole book.
books.
I've got a
Yeah.
big bookshelf. Trust me.
Hayden, go
all
to
my
Goodwill.
all my antique store,
Yeah.
all my antique sales and stuff I go to, because I've really
Yeah.
gotten into that lately. I got on the list for some
Yeah.
antiques dealers
I
and
love
stuff.
antique stores.
And so, well, now we go to the antique, whatever, the home
State sales.
estate sales. My man, go hit them estate sales, bro. Oh man, that's where
Well,
it's
that's
at.
where you get really good stuff.
That's where it's at,
yeah.
my
have
friend.
you have you been to the Riverfront Antique Mall?
I've been there like a long time ago. It's the one across from
Dude,
Maze,
it's
right?
Crazy. It's the
Yeah.
one. It's all just in South Carolina.
Oh,
It's
I know.
Massive.
I've been to it once.
But like go to Goodwill. Books, hardcover books are $1, no matter what they are, and paperbacks are 3 for 99 cents.
Good God.
It's awesome, and you find some legit books. I found signed copies of stuff at Goodwill, like legit.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Well,
It's crazy.
I bought a book from an estate sale. It was from 1861. Some lieutenant colonel has his name written in the front cover, and
Did I not send that to you?
it's
I
a
got one
whole
too.
it's a whole book of proverbs and adages. You know, like men in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah, that's
You know,
awesome.
different things like that. But it's the way it's written. Like, we had to Google some of the words and
So y'all all know what Second and Charles is, right?
Yep.
Just used bookstore.
yeah.
I got a book. It's like a log. It's like a interest counting book, basically, so you don't have to do like math in your head and stuff,
Right.
and like log timbering and stuff. That's literally what it says it's for. But I found this book at Second and Charles. It's from 1851.
Nice.
I got it for $15.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome. And then on top of that, I'll have to send this one also. I found a Soviet Russia children's textbook, grammar textbook,
Yeah.
all in like, what's the Russian, Cyrillic or whatever? What is it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It literally has a stamp in the front that says printed in the USSR.
Nice. See, to me,
Cool.
that stuff isn't. I don't put like the social stigma with it. To me, that's historical.
That's
I
what I'm
don't.
saying.
I don't care about
Awesome.
any of that other. It's just historical. I think that stuff is awesome. You know,
Printed in the Soviet Union. Like,
right? That's what I mean.
how
It's
many of
awesome.
those are left? In Russia, I'm sure there's quite a many. I don't know.
Probably not. They burned a
Well,
lot of
that's-
books when Lenin took over in the Bolshevik Revolution. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is clearly an approved textbook. You know what I mean? Like this is
yeah,
because this is literally it's printed in the USSR, and so I guess therefore it is quote unquote approved. I suppose you can see where it's. I have the picture of the stamp. I just find that stuff very, very cool. I don't know why. Like that's just one of my old stuff. Like I found a penny. Hayden, I'm almost positive I told you about this when I found it. When I was working up at the White Horse, I would just look through the cash register just when I was bored at the pennies and the coins and stuff.
that's the best way to find good coins.
1917. I found a penny from 1917, and I just like
was it a
literally.
wheat penny?
I think it had to be.
It'd have to be.
I was about to say Ben has it, but it was 1917, and I mean, I'm telling you, I sat there and just like stared at this thing. I was like, this thing has been through 2 world wars. Like this thing, like this is insane. Like I just that kind of stuff just blows my mind. Like I don't know why.
I've got a German Deutschmark in here from after the war, like during the war, and like where their money collapsed and they no longer had fine metals to produce their money, and they were putting it on like steel and crap. Yeah. I have one and it's basically rusted in half. Like it's all rusted and pitted and everything, and I got it as a penny, and I started looking at it one day and it says Deutschmark on it. And I like Googled it and it's all rusted and like half of it's like rusted away, and supposedly they were using cheaper materials to make money because of the war effort had stripped everything from them, that they were making their money out of basically anything they could print something on because it was worthless.
It's crazy. Well, that's the whole, I mean, what the pictures we saw in our textbooks growing up, I don't know why this one's always stuck with me, but it was when Germany was going through their like massive depression stuff. I want to say like right before World War II. It was when it was in between the world wars, and their like inflation was so bad that people were burning money to stay warm. It's like, well,
it was worthless.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Second and Charles has some random awesome stuff. My history, the history section here in Jacksonville is like huge, and it's awesome. And there's all kinds of older stuff. And I found the original first edition version of the New York Times version of the Warren Commission report, which is the report on JFK's assassination.
Yeah.
And so I have the original book binded version of the report, and it's the quote unquote New York Times version or whatever, and so that's pretty cool, from 1967 or 5 or something, whenever they finished.
Because I want to get into that. That's interesting. I want to hear about this old man that camped outside his recruiter's office at 72 years old to go to Iraq.
Well, that was it was literally just a little short whatever. He was like, people like this dude, he might have been 80 at that time. Like, that's the crazy thing, is it was right after 9/11. He was either 75, 80 years old, and he's been a CIA Special Forces operator literally since he was 20. And when Libya fell, when Gaddafi got killed, the only people that were somewhat in charge were the military generals and stuff. He trained those generals. So they sent him a 70-something-year-old dude in 82 years old, I think he was in 2012. So he was 70-something in 2001, or even, I don't know. But he was 80-something years old. They sent him over to Libya to check out what was going on and to kind of see, get the landscape. He's a crazy figure he's still alive in Florida. He's 93 years old. And this dude has it's nuts. It's the craziest book. And that's the thing. Which one are you going to read? Is it Surprise, Kill, Vanish?
Yeah.
Or Hunting the Jackal? Hunting the Jackal. Because, Hunting the Jackal is his book that he wrote and his story, and it goes through all the different stuff, and it's nuts. And that was after. He's the first person that photographed Osama bin Laden. He used to go on a jogging route when he was tracking the other Carlos the Jackal. When he was tracking another terrorist, his jogging route went by Osama bin Laden's compound in the late 80s. He knew this guy. He asked his bosses if he could kill him. No.
That's what I mean, man. Like, I want to...
It's crazy.
Yeah, I want to get in there and get into some of that, because that seems... It just
He
seems
drove a
interesting.
Lexus.
He drove a Lexus.
And then you can, after that, read Surprise, Kill, Vanish. She takes probably 60-70% of her, no, not even that much. Yeah, the framework, 50-60% of her framework, the storytelling mechanism throughout her book is Billy Waugh's story, and so a lot of it's lifted out of his book. And she interjects it with a Secret Service agent and, a Delta Force guy, and like different, the guy who, she tells the story about the guy who invented halo drops, just messing around when they were first starting the OSS, which is like the precursor to the CIA. And he was just taking a bunch of plane trips up to see what kind of different stuff they could do with a parachute. And he just kind of like, what if I don't let my parachute out until the last second? And boom, halo drops. That was like 1930 something or something. Like, I mean, he was just, it's nuts. Like the books are crazy. Those are some of my favorite books. I was thinking about re-listening to Surprise, Kill, Vanish because it was that good.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, it really does. There's a couple other ones out there I wanted to get. Like I said, they're out there, and I'll eventually get them. But I have to listen to it on my computer. My cell phone's too old for the app.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's a 6S. They can kiss my butt.
You can't get an Audible app?
Right? It's crazy.
Can you listen to Can you go to like the Audible webpage?
I don't know. I might have to try that.
Try that. That's weird.
Weird, right? Talk about phasing out your technology.
Well, but what you can also do, and anybody else, if this is halfway interesting, is Annie Jacobson is the person that wrote Surprise, Kill, Vanish. She went on Joe Rogan like a year and a half ago, something like that, because she just wrote a book about Area 51. And so she's written some pretty crazy books. She's pretty interesting. So that's a fun little interview.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to read some of these and, because I want to hear these people's story. Some of these things these guys did was just amazing.
Well, I told you, like, I promise you, you're going to go nuts when you hear the whole story about the guy who used to be special forces. He's all in Annie Jacobson's book is, he was an ex-special forces guy, was in Vietnam and all this, and then he came home and decided to be Secret Service. And he ended up getting pretty high in the Secret Service and kind of was saying, like, guys, like, we are handling this all wrong. Like, we handle this like we're going to be hit by like a traditional military. Like, I've fought guerrillas. Like, I fought the guerrilla military. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, we're going to get hit by, around street corners and stuff like that. It's not going to be a coordinated, a military style attack. It's going to be a guerrilla warfare. And so he completely changed how the Secret Service started thinking and working. And he basically told, like, they ran a test. The long story short is they ran a test to see what would happen if somebody could get on the White House grounds without ever coming up on radar or anything. And so he kind of went and asked his buddies in the Delta Force to, hey, run a test. Using only publicly available information, can you get into the grounds, without us seeing you? And so, they took the Secret Service guys' weapons, which put them on alert anyways. They took their ammo, not their weapons. And basically, some of the Secret Service guys that were sitting on the roof of the White House that night, and this is like George H.W. Bush's presidency, I think.
Okay. Late 80s.
Yeah, they were like looking around like, man, I wonder what's going on. Like, this is crazy. And one guy said, like, he just was like talking to the guy next to him. He looks back out on the lawn and there's 8 Delta Force guys standing out there. And it's like, wait, what? Like, and they literally they did a crazy, top secret. They won't tell anybody what the maneuver was, but they did a crazy maneuver where they could subvert. The airplane never showed up on radar, all this, whatever, but they did a jump in and parachuted in and were never seen.
They must have flown the plane in backwards.
Yes, exactly. They covered it in black tarp.
Yeah, exactly. So But yeah, that's a good place to wrap it up, guys, because I'm gonna do some more research on this Billy Waugh and listen to some of that, and that way next week we can talk about Billy Waugh and some of this crazy other stuff that, amazing feats that people had done. So if you hear anything like that, make a note of it or whatnot, and we'll pick that up next week because we've already hit an hour. It's easier to edit if I keep it in an hour block.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm about to head to Lowe's, go pick up some blinds.
Yep, there you go, boss. I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see y'all next
fun.
week.
See y'all next week.
Later, guys.